right, welcome back. Did everybody have a nice lunch?
Yes.
All right, so just a couple of reminders of how we're doing things today. Remember that we have about 6 different topics that we're going to be covering throughout the day. Early in the morning, we covered the basics of what your screens are going to look like when you log in for the first time on your first shifts in the hospital. We talked a little bit about how to find your patients, and we talked about how to find information about your patients, like their outstanding labs, their previous encounters, their previous office visits, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to be getting into in this lesson here is called chart completion and your to-do list. Now, Epic is really wonderful in the way that it basically guides you through your entire workflow. It'll give you a to-do list, and it'll give you basic things that you can check off in order to complete your charting for each of your patients. And if you kind of follow these lists and you kind of go through these different narrators that I'm going to show you, then getting from one patient to the next and moving people through the emergency rooms to either being discharged or admitted to the hospital will be a relatively fluid process for you. Just a reminder, we've got our parking lot up over here. And any questions that I don't know the answer to, or I need further research done, or need to consult with somebody, I'll definitely get back to you. So make sure that you know my number, and then you have my email address, and I'll be able to email you those answers. Okay, so let's shake the cobwebs out a little bit, and we're going to get right into this one. And as you've seen, I like to be silly at the beginning of these lessons. So I have a question for you guys. How does a Wookiee like his steak?
Oh, I know. A little bit chewy.
I got to stand out in the audience there. A little bit chewy. Okay, one thing you're going to learn about me is I'm a little bit geeky, and I'm a Star Wars guy. So I'll try to control myself for the rest of the lesson. Okay, so like I said before, this is our chart completion and our to-do list. And as emergency room providers, this is vitally important for all of you because you want to get reimbursed for this hard work that you're doing with your patients. You want to make sure that the hospital gets the charges dropped correctly. We want to keep the lights on. We want to make sure that all of the patients can easily move through as expeditiously as possible. All right, so here's the big picture here of what we're looking at here. So far we've seen how the patient arrives, how they're roomed, and then how they're assessed. And then we've seen how we were able to gather information about these patients and learn about their previous encounters. So what we're going to be focusing right now is how we're going to be using our review visit navigator to complete the chart and move on from patient to patient. Okay, so here's our scenario here. This is Beth. Her name is Beth Belly Pain, and she came into the emergency department with excruciating belly pain. Oh my gosh, look at her face there. Doesn't that look like she's just in agony?
Oh, wow.
So we got to find out what's wrong with her. Hopefully, give her the right advice as to how to make this belly pain go away. Maybe prescribe some meds, do some labs. Maybe she needs to get admitted. Maybe this is an appendicitis issue, or maybe it's something really simple like she just has gas. Who knows? So here is our track board, as we've seen earlier today. And when you log into Epic for the first time, you're going to land on the My Patients view. And then these are going to show you all the patients for whom you've assigned yourself to a treatment team. And then this can be like your work queue that you'll work through throughout the day. Now, in order to find patients to get onto your work queue, we're going to go to the Waiting for Provider view. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on that. And then these are all of the patients that are in the emergency room, everywhere. They could be in a room, they could be in the waiting room, they could be out in the lobby cell, but these are people who have not had a provider assigned yet. So here's Beth right here. I know it's a little bit fuzzy back there for you in the back of the room, but we can see that she's got belly pain. She's 35 years old, and she's been waiting for about 35 minutes. So let's pick up Beth and add ourselves to her treatment team. So we're going to right-click on her name, and then we just click on Assign Me. And once we've done that, she's going to then appear on our My Patients list. And there she is right there. Okay, now notice on the far right-hand side of the screen, there is a to-do column. And then there are numbers for the number of things that have to be done for this patient before they can be sent home or admitted to the hospital. Now our ultimate goal is to get to here. And if you can't see this, it's a little folder with a check mark on it. And that tells you the charting is complete. So we want to make these numbers turn into that. That's what our overall goal is. So does anybody have any questions so far?
No.
All right, so let's do it. We're going to double click directly on that number, and it's going to take us to the chart completion narrator right over here. And it's going to show us the things that have to be done before she can be sent on her way. And as we can see here, there were 5 things out on the track board that were telling us that have to be done. And we can see them now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So the first one up on top is the orders that need to be signed. So maybe these are orders that you've queued up. Maybe these are labs. Maybe these are imaging studies that you want to get. Maybe it's ultrasound. Who knows? Maybe it's something as simple as, well, I need to draw some blood and I need to stick an IV in her arm. Either way, in order for these orders to be active, we have to sign them. And then if they are ordered by a nurse, we have to co-sign them. So that's what we're going to be doing right here. We're just going to click on Sign My Orders. And right over here, you guys notice? The Sign My Orders now disappeared from our list. So it's starting to count down on things that we have to do. All right, let's close Beth's chart. And it'll take us back to the track board. And then lo and behold, that number used to be a 5. And now what is it?
4.
It's a 4. All right, so you guys are starting to get the gist of this. Okay, so let's continue on here. So we just clicked on that number 4 again, and then opened us up back to where we were before. And then while we're here, let's do some of the other things that we're going to be doing to provide patient care in addition to the required items. So to do that, we can go over to the Review Visit narrator, right over here. And then we can see that in addition to all of the items that we have to complete before the patient can be discharged or admitted, there's some other things that we can do too. For example, let's go ahead and click on our first provider evaluation. So the first provider evaluation is obviously important because this tracks the door to doctor times. So the amount of time from the time someone's in a room to the time the doctor actually goes and sees them. So we'll click on that, and it's going to pre-fill a time there. And this time is editable. So you can actually put in any time you want there. And we can use a little shortcut here. I'm going to put in n minus 20 for 20 minutes ago. That's the first time we went and saw that. And then we'll click the File button. Okay, now if we go back to the track board, even though we were on the Review Visit narrator and not the chart completion, you can see that our numbers are now reducing as well. Now we're down to 3. And we also got that cool little guide that showed up in our first provider evaluation so that everybody in the whole department knows that a doctor has gone in and seen that patient. Okay, so let's continue on here. So we're going to go back to Beth's chart, and let's look at her chief complaint. So this was entered during triage by a nurse, and we can see here that her chief complaint is abdominal pain. When we went and saw her, she told us that she's really nauseous too. So let's go ahead and just add that chief complaint. So we go ahead and add nausea. And then, of course, for a young lady, I think Beth was like 35 or something like that, we want to make sure that her OBGYN status is updated as well. And we can see here that all of the information about her menstrual cycle has been added, and we can see right here is done by a nurse during triage. So we're not going to change anything here. All we're going to do is just click the Markers Reviewed button, and then our name is now there, so the date and time stamps the last time that this information was updated. Okay, so everybody with me so far? Everybody buying what I'm selling?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at her home meds. And it's telling us here that she reported, you can tell by these little guys right here with the little cartoon bubbles above their head. She told the triage nurse that she's taking, looks like, Celebrex, Celexa, and Estradiol, probably a birth control. And we're not going to make any changes to this. She didn't tell us that she's taking any additional meds. But we do want to mark her medication list in progress so that the pharmacist knows that a provider has actually looked at this list of medications for us. All right, so let's close our chart. And we didn't really do anything to knock anything off of our list here. So we're going to continue on with our to-do list. So you guys can all imagine that Beth is probably in the room. Her blood has gone off to the lab. Her urine is being processed. Maybe that ultrasound will be ordered for her is getting worked on by the radiology department. And then after a while, we've looked at her results, and we've deemed that it's okay for Beth to go home now. We've miraculously cured her. You know, whatever her belly pain was, it's gone now. So let's go ahead and send Beth home, and we're going to do it by clicking right there on our number. Okay. Any people got their listening ears on out there? Remember what this is called right over here? I'll give you a hint. Yes, it's the chart completion. So we'll go to chart completion, and we'll click on our clinical impression. Now, clinical impression is very important for us because this is what we're going to be billing for. We're actually going to put in the code here that will allow us to get reimbursed properly for our services. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to add left lower quadrant pain, and then I'm going to set her disposition to discharge. And then, of course, the last thing you would do is write your note to document all your findings during that visit, so this is available for the next time that she comes in. All right, so we're not really going to finish all of the note right now. That'll be our next lesson that we're going to be doing. But for right now, let's go ahead and close our chart. And then, look at that. Is it a number there anymore?
No.
Oh.
What is it?
Chart.
Yeah, it's a little file with the chart mark on it. So for all intents and purposes now, we're done with the charting for Beth. So, does this general flow make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
If you essentially just open up the chart, it'll tell you what has to be done before the patient can leave. Now, of course, Epic is not ever going to tell you as the doctor how to practice medicine or what sorts of labs or medications or evaluations that you're going to be doing, but it's going to guide you through the documentation process. Alrighty, so if there aren't any other questions, what I'd like for all of you to do is go ahead and open up your workbooks, and you're going to be going through a chart completion exercise on page 12. And I'll come around, I'll circulate and make sure that everybody feels good about that exercise before we move on.
Okay.
Alright, so any questions, comments, quibbles, queries, complaints before we get going? Alright, let's go ahead and open up our workbooks. Thank you very much, everybody.